The world doesn't have too many kings anymore. In most countries, monarchies have pretty much disappeared, probably never to return. And the few that do remain have, in most cases, very little power, being more of a symbol than anything else. Maybe they have outlived their usefulness. And for those throughout history who unfortunately had to live under unjust or cruel kings, their prayers have finally been answered, although those who desperately wanted to see the end of kings and queens almost certainly had departed from this earth a long time ago. And yet, kings did have a significant role in the history of our civilization. If they were good, and if they were honest, and if they were fair, their role was indispensable. A good king could provide order and provide structure. A good king would provide protection. A good king would settle disputes and make sure that justice and, where appropriate, mercy was distributed equitably. So, in a very real sense, a good king could help his subjects go along with their daily lives without too much disruption. Help his subjects do what people sought to do from the dawn of time, to be able to live, to work, to marry, to raise families, to live in community. For a good deal of human history, if there wasn't someone who was minding the store or someone calling the shots, so to speak, chaos often resulted. So a good king could hold everything together. But a king didn't do all of this for nothing. The king certainly gave certain things, but his subjects were expected and required to give certain things too. You know, maybe it was a form of taxation. Maybe it was money. Maybe it was crops. Maybe it was taking up arms in the service of the realm if necessary. And if this system was going to work, both sides have to be willing to give something. And if not, you would end up with either a very angry king, or very bitter subjects, or a society that is just coming apart. So today, on this last Sunday of the church year, we are asked to worship and to celebrate and to give thanks to our Lord Jesus under the title, Christ the King. So we are asked to reflect today on what it means for him to be our King, and what his kingdom is all about, and how do we fit into this kingdom? How do we enter into this kingdom? How do we live in this kingdom? In our modern times, it's really kind of difficult to imagine Jesus as a king, just for some of the reasons that I stated earlier, because we don't have many monarchies left, and the unfortunate history of so many tremendously bad kings who have mistreated so many across the centuries. And yet there are ways of seeing Jesus as our king, the only king that was worth serving, that can be helpful, and can really aid us in our journey of faith as we struggle to unpack the mysteries of God, as to who God is and who we are in relation to him. In the past, having one person with all power could create a dicey situation, in that his or her subjects weren't always sure what kind of a king they had, or what kind of a king were they going to get once the death of the previous one had occurred, and what was their king or queen going to expect of them. But that's not the case with our King at all, not even close. Because we know in faith what Christ the King provides. And I can give you a very short list. Things like mercy and forgiveness and generosity and compassion and spiritual protection and second chances and third chances and fourth chances and fifth chances and kindness and fairness and justice and love and salvation. Our loving God gives and gives and gives and gives some more, not once in a while, but continuously, generously, relentlessly, unconditionally. And we give what? Unlike the many kings of old, Christ the King doesn't force demands upon us. That's not who he is. Rather, he simply holds up his end of the bargain lovingly, his end of the covenant, his sacred promise, and he invites us to do the same, to give and to love in return. And we do so not because we have to, not because we're afraid he'll unleash his wrath upon us, not because we have to earn our way into his good graces or earn our way into heaven, but he simply wants us to love for no other reason than he has loved us first. Is that a good enough reason for us? Or is this another monarchy that we would like to abolish? Abolish so that we could just do what we want to. Abolish so that we won't need to forgive. Abolish so that we can just look out for number one. Or abolish so that we can reap the rewards of Jesus' death and resurrection while doing the absolute minimum. Or can we find a way to truly let Christ be our King? Truly let him be the Lord of our lives. Truly let him be the center of all we do. Jesus is the best possible King we could ever imagine. Jesus has given us everything. Will we give our everything in return and help make his beautiful kingdom a reality in every corner